The main problem is that it's going to be it's going to affect the after-tax rate of return for the very wealthy. Now, there's a slogan going around that 2 cents on the dollar or 3 cents on the dollar doesn't sound like very much, but when you think about the rate of return on wealth, which is typically around 3 to 4%, and if you subtract, let's say, the top rate Warren is proposing of 3%, you're down to almost zero.
Well, and she's since doubled that to 6%. So her top rate is 6%.
Effectively destroys any incentive to invest. Is that really what it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Why would you put capital to work if the return on capital is gone?
Yeah, well, if it goes up to 6%, it's going to be a negative. It could be a negative territory. So not only that, I think it's going to induce big capital flight out of this country. I mean, who's going to sit around and see their wealth earning nothing or even in negative territory? These people are going to move their money to other countries.
Sure. Is it simply a rate issue? So I know you've talked about when you first proposed this back in the early 1990s, your rates, I think, started at 0.05% and the top rate was 0.3%. Switzerland, which now has probably the only successful wealth tax in the world, which I know you've held up as a model, I think their rate is, 0.3%. Why do you think a lower rate seems to work, and what do you think the rate should be if we had one in the U.S.?
Well, I'm pretty much still in favor of the Swiss tax. 0.3% would lower the after-tax rate of return at the top by less than 10%. So that, not 10 percentage points, just
right.
10%
of the total return. Yeah.
It's like it would lower it by about 0.2 percentage points, which is less than most loading fees are on mutual funds.
And it's low enough then that people wouldn't create all these avoidance schemes around it, right, as well. It's why you actually get some revenue from a wealth tax when it's that low.
Exactly. People aren't going to, ship their money to, around the world.
The Channel Islands or something.
Yeah.
But why, what is the advantage of a wealth tax per se versus taxing income? What does a wealth tax, apart from raising money, do that an income tax can't or doesn't?
I think the general principle of taxation should be on the ability to pay. And the ability to pay is based both on someone's income, but also on someone's wealth. So what a wealth tax will at least capture. A wealth tax in conjunction with an income tax would much better reflect this ability to pay, and it would also capture. There are wealthy individuals who have quite low income. Think of hedge fund managers.
There are
Warren
CEOs who get paid $1 a year or nothing.
Exactly, and so it would.
Which is not to say they don't have income from dividends and so forth. But.
Yeah, but it would pick up those people, and those people should be paying taxes. They're escaping now. They're escaping the income tax now, and wealth tax would at least capture this group of people.
Under this Swiss-style wealth tax, though, you're also asking people of lower income. We're not just going after the ultra-wealthy. It'd be also people who had income of $200,000 a year. What sort of? I mean, that doesn't feel like it would go over too well amongst the masses here in the United States.
Well, it's true. The Swiss tax. One disadvantage is that it will affect about a third of the population. But having said that, only about less than 10% of the population would pay more than 10% in additional taxes. So it's a very low rate up until a few $1 million. So it's true, you'd have to pay a few dollars more.
But it doesn't raise. One criticism I can imagine is that at such a low rate, even on a broad part of the American public, it doesn't raise a tremendous amount of money. And one of the reasons that candidate Warren has put the numbers where she has is that she needs to raise a lot of money to pay for the things that she has proposed.
Well, my estimate is that the Warren wealth tax would raise about $300 billion
a year.
Over 300 billion a year, right?
Yeah.
Right, 3 trillion over 10 years.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. My wealth tax, the Swiss wealth tax would raise about 180 billion. So it's not peanuts. And, you know, you could tweak it some more and get it up there to 200,
That's
250
because it
billion.
would apply to a much broader strata of the population.
Yeah,
Yours
yeah,
would.
exactly.
Just curious, Professor, before we let you go, have any of the candidates gotten in touch with you?
Well, you know, it's curious. I did expect the Warren camp to reach out to me, but, you know, maybe she wanted a fresh start on the wealth tax issue, and she also has a very good team of economists working on the issue now. So, so far I've been ignored, but maybe that will change.
Probably wanted a higher rate, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.